Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us for this live conversation about 2021 Youth Camp. We are incredibly excited that you've all decided to join us. I'm Takesha Walker. I am the Chief Operating Officer with Amputee Coalition, and I'm just here to give you a little bit of background about what to expect during this year's camp as a general overview, and then turn it over to some really important people to talk a little bit more specifically about what to expect. So we'll just dive in, and I'll start by saying that when we started planning camp last year, actually, we asked ourselves a couple of questions. We asked ourselves, how do we keep our campers, our staff, and our counselors safe in the current environment? And then we also asked ourselves, what is it that we need? What is it we promise that we deliver through our youth camp? And how do we deliver it in the most safe format possible? With those two questions pending, where we found ourselves is in a place to decide that we were going to deliver this year's camp in a virtual environment. So yes, 2021 camp is virtual. It's going to happen across 2 weekends, starting July 24th and 25th and ending July 31st through August 1st. But what are the promises? What we promise and what we are going to work with you guys to deliver are 3 big bucket things. We want to make sure that you have access to build and hone the community that so many of you have already gotten to know because you've gone to camp before. And for our new campers, that you come into a community that is welcoming and inclusive for everyone. We also wanted to make sure that we work with you guys to deliver the skills that are so important. So how do we help you develop the skills that you need just for life? And how do we help you discover that you already have some of the skills that you need and in order to be successful as leaders and just in your everyday lives? And then finally, we also wanted to make sure that camp is fun. I'm not fun, but I am going to turn it over to some fun people. But fun is a part of this promise, and we certainly want to work with you to make this the most fun camp experience that you can have this year. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Daniel Carroll, who is fun and who is going to talk a little bit more about the planning, more specifically about what you can expect from this year's camp. He's also in charge and responsible for leading the planning. So if there are things that you want to see, Daniel will be the one to talk to.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Takesha, for that wonderful introduction. And I think you're fun. So we just have to get into the mode of camp as we're heading into the summer. And I just want to talk a little bit about this year's camp. This year, we're working on a modified schedule based on last year's recommendations so that we can make sure that everybody has a chance to attend our fun camp, like Takesha said. And our schedule is jam-packed, and it's an exciting one, if I must say so myself. But we don't want to give away all the exciting elements to this year's camp. But through that, I want to talk a little bit about camp. And we are super excited, if you can't tell, through this introduction. But this camp is all about connecting with new and old friends as we explore this world and design our world, as well as create our own atmospheres in this world. I hope you see the concept there. We're off on an adventure around the world right from our homes. But it's not just camp that connects everybody in the limb loss or limb difference community. It's about the sense of belonging that connects us all together. After I lost my arm due to a car accident at the age of 9, I attended my first camp. It's been 17 years of attending camp as a camper, a counselor, and now as a staff member, which is an amazing experience. But these adventures and these connections, they last a lifetime. And you just don't get it from anywhere or anything. But I don't want you just to take my word from it. I want you to join. I want your campers to join. And I want you to experience this for yourself. The focus of the Amputee Coalition is building on that organic peer support that happens in any environment, especially as we've seen over this last year. And through that, I know a lot of the first things that campers learn come from this camp. Myself, I learned how to tie my shoes for the first time at the first camp that I ever attended with one hand, which was an amazing experience and let me live a little bit more independently than I had been. But we want to focus on our campers, getting them to advocate for themselves, which is the way that we learn over the course of our camp. And they can use these life skills for their longevity. We wanted to make sure that we gave everybody an opportunity to attend this year's jam-packed schedule. And with that, I don't want to give away, like I said earlier, all the elements of camp, but I do want to give you a snippet of information that we're doing throughout camp. One of the special presentations that we're having, our friends of mine are coming over from Nike FlyEase to give us a design presentation and let us into a little bit of their world on how they got their jobs and how they've advanced through their careers. We're also going to be joining our friends over at the Challenge Athletes Foundation that are providing an all-inclusive, active, in-home workout session that's going to be presented by community members and employees of the Challenge Athletes Foundation. We'll also have a Finding Connections or Menu of Success by none other than Miss Iowa and Amputee Coalition's lead advocate, Nicole Kelly. We'll have a graffiti artist that's coming to attend and going to be participating with all the kids. And we're also going to be going on a journey. Like I said earlier, we're going on an adventure around the world. And our adventure around the world, we'll be going to Sydney, Australia with a personal guide and visiting some of the great architects through Sydney. If you're interested or know somebody that might be interested in joining us at camp, you can click the link that's going to be in the description, or at the end of this presentation, you'll see it on your screen and can snap a photo of the code on the screen. And you can register, or your friends can register. Camp is going to be 100% free for anybody that registers. Camp is open to anybody in the limb loss or limb difference community. Our campers age range from 10 through 17. Our junior counselors are 18 through 20. And our counselors are open to anybody age 21 and up that is living with limb loss or limb difference. Like Takesha said, our camp dates are July 24th through the 25th, July 31st through August 1st. And the times are Saturday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be an optional movie as well after 8 p.m. and Sundays from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, with all that said, and I know that that was a lot, but I want to invite our peer support manager and former camp counselor, Katie Flannery, to the screen to help me answer some questions that have come through the chat. But before we get started, Katie, I need to know, can you share one of your most favorite memories of being a camp counselor at our camp?
Well, Daniel, I just have to say thank you for having me tonight. And I just want to say hi, future campers and counselors. And we are so excited for camp this year. And maybe I'm kind of giving a minute because I have so many memories, Daniel, of camp over the last 2 years, both virtual and in person. But I'm going to say probably out of both 2 years, my favorite memory would be cabin time, because cabin time is just a time that you are in a small group. You get to discuss your challenges, but also all the joys that you have in life. And really, that's probably my favorite memory. So thanks for asking, Daniel.
Yeah, no problem. And that's really a special moment, like you said, Katie. And that's one thing that we're going to be incorporating into camp this year is cabin time. So we can have those chats and we can build on those memories that we're going to have throughout the weekends. So with that, Katie, do we have a question that's come in so far?
Yeah, let me look.
Awesome. While you're looking too. Oh, sorry. While you're looking, if you guys that are watching, feel free to drop in a question as well. Whether you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, feel free to drop that in and we'll get that answered for you.
So the first question is, I know that t-shirts are really important. And if you go to an event, did you get the t-shirt? Are we going to be able to get t-shirts for camp this year?
T-shirts are important. I have the entire collection, 17 shirts in my closet. Yes, I do wear them throughout the year as well. But yes, we will be mailing every camper their own t-shirt. And they can add to their collection or start a new one. And you know what, Katie? I think I would love to see some pictures of collections of t-shirts that people are posting as well. But either way, a little sidebar there. But, we are going to be sending out t-shirts. We would love for every camper to get that printed and shipped to them by the start of camp. But we are going through the U.S. Postal Mail Services. So just be aware of that when you are receiving your shirts. That's a great question. Thanks, Katie.
Here is another question. It says, what if my child can only attend 3 days of camp and because we are going on vacation?
Yeah. So camp is over 2 weekends, 4 total days. But if you're going on vacation, even though we would love to have you all 4 days, we do understand that there are other commitments that are going on in people's lives. And if you just let us know, we would be more than happy to work with you on that. But please do shoot us an email, camp@amputee-coalition.org. It's also going to be on the last slide at the end of this presentation as well.
And Daniel, what is the last day to register for camp?
So right now, the last day to register for camp is July 5th of 2021. It is 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're a procrastinator, guilty. But July 5th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is the last moment that you can register. But we might extend it if we need to. So just shoot us an email if you do miss that.
That's great. Thanks, Daniel. And then this is an interesting question. It's, will there be programming for parents during the camp?
Wow, yes. Of course, there's definitely programming for parents. This year we are incorporating on Wednesday, let me find the date, Wednesday, July 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have programming for our parents. It's going to be a parents roundtable is kind of what we're calling it. And all parents are able to join, no matter if their campers coming or not. But we would love to have all parents join us. Through that, we are going to have a presentation that some of our staff is going to be available for. They're going to be presenting on different programs that we do here in the Amputee Coalition, like our peer support department, Katie. But all our staff will be there, excuse me, not all of them, but most of our staff will be there representing their departments. And if you have questions, feel free to come by and participate with that as well.
And Ellen had a couple comments and questions. I will definitely be there this year, helping and assisting Daniel and all the counselors and campers. And she wanted to know how come camp is on weekends and not the whole week this year?
That's a great question, Ellen. And I hope I am saying that correctly as well. Sorry if I'm not, but so camp is on the weekends this year just because we do a survey at the end of camp every year. And that was one of the biggest things that people asked for so that they were able to attend our camp in its entirety. Because during the week, we did notice that a couple people had to drop off because they had other commitments. So having it on the weekends was kind of one of the better fits that we did find. But every year we do a new survey, so feel free to attend this year and place your comments in that survey as well.
That is a great question. And then let me just look and see. This is another good question. My son just turned 10 years old. Will they be separated from the older kids?
So that is a great question. And traditionally at camp, we do use the rule of 3, which means that no camper or counselor should be left alone at any time. So we will always have 3 people together at any point or any situation. With that being said, in some of our programming, we do have some really cool elements, and there might be some separation based on age, and there might not be. But we will always have our trained counselors there at every table to supervise everything and anything that goes on as well.
And I think that is all, Daniel.
Awesome.
That I see. So
that's amazing. And if anybody else has any questions, we will be monitoring this. And I'm going to go over a little bit of that as we end here today. But we're going to be monitoring this. Feel free to always send a question into the email address camp@amputee-coalition.org. But I do want to thank you, Katie, especially for joining us. And I want to thank Takesha as well for introducing us. And everybody else out there that's joining us live on Facebook or YouTube. Please share this video with your network. Put more questions in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them. You can visit our website at any point at www.amputee-coalition.org. And also at the end of this, you'll see where to register your child or your camper or register yourself at. But also, one plug too, I want everybody to make sure that they know what's going on Twitter tomorrow. So be sure to join us tomorrow, July 1st, for our Twitter chat, where we're going to be talking about supporting young amputees in a post-COVID world. If you have any additional questions, please contact us at camp@amputee-coalition.org. We hope that you have a wonderful evening. And thank you again so much, Katie, for participating with this. Bye, everybody.